discussions of the module of recruiting management. So we have completed our employee central, few of you have completed PMG as well. So basically now it is on the recruiting context, where in the session today, primarily I'll be focusing you on the overview of this module. First of all, to understand what are the important components of it, the terminologies, the flow of the module is what I'll give you an idea. And from next session tomorrow is where we get into the configs of it. Okay. So give me a moment. Yeah. So guys, in terms of the recruiting as a module, so first of all, this module consists of the uh, processes which will cover in a recruitment process in a company, like right from identifying a vacant position in the company, then creating a job requirement in the company, the way how you do the recruiting process in the company for selecting some people, what are your internal different kinds of selection processes that we follow, like in terms of what do you say, the uh, regular assessments what we conduct for the people who are applying for the job, written tests, or it might be in terms of the aptitude tests that are conducted, system tests, or these interviews, technical functional assessments, all these. So like this, all those selection processes to be carried out and recording the recording the output of each and every test that has been conducted, assessment that is conducted, and then finally the way we deal with the offer process in the company. So first we have to create an offer that has to be approved internally by someone in the company, and then we release to the candidate. Again, candidate might have some negotiations on the offer. So all these things till the candidate accepting the offer is where we have the entire process covered in the recruiting management module. Okay, so that recruiting process to be executed in the system is what we digitally carry out under the recruiting management module. And for that, in terms of the navigations on the screens, we have two important navigations. One is here at the bottom, recruiting. Recruiting as one dedicated navigation we'll have, where that's where the main recruiting process will be conducted, and that is obviously accessible only by the people who are relevant to it, like the recruiting team, not each and every employee in the company. So your company might be 1,000 employees, 10,000 employees, whatever, but the recruiting team will not be everyone, right? It will be only the people who are the recruiters, hiring managers, and some other recruiting staff, different kinds of, only they should be having the access to the recruiting. So it should not be more than 100 people practically who will have the access to the recruiting generally. So that is how you will have the recruiting tab access that has been restricted to only selective people who participate in the recruiting process in the organization. And they will have one more on the top called career. So this career is a tab that will be accessible for every employee in the company, from where they will be able to find the list of the vacant jobs in the company currently. So what are the current vacant jobs and the jobs that they can apply for. As an employee of this company, if I can still apply for any other job in the company, that's where the career tab comes in. So I can see the list of all the vacancies in the company, and if I'm interested to apply for any other job in the company, so I can apply for that. Same like any external person, there will be a selection process for me as well. And if I really clear all the stages, then it will be a call that will be taken care by my managers, my management, and all. Are they willing to transfer me to another position in the company? All that internal call can be taken. That way we have career tab as well, so where all the vacancy positions can be seen, and recruiting tab where the actual recruiting process of creating the postings, conducting the assessments, offer release, everything will be taken from here. So how does the different stages of the screens look like in this process flows? We'll be looking at down the line anyways. And then to discuss the overview of this, guys, for this recruiting process or the module related overview, we have to look at. So there are some key stages of it. Some key stages. So they are this is a cyclic process of all those stages, where the first thing is we have requisition, creation, and approval. Requisition, creation, and approval. Requisition is nothing but the requirement, because the job requirement is what we refer as requisition. Okay, so that has a job requirement has to be created in the system, and that has to be approved. It's not that whoever wants to create an opening, they create in the company. So any job requirement that is being created and they are posting the job to the market, and before the people start seeing it, someone has to really approve it in the company. Some top level people in the company has to approve it. So the designation, the details, whatever you are giving about the job, someone has to approve it. Then only you can start posting the job to the market. So that's where the first step of creating the requisition and approval will also happen, and we can design that approval process. Then we post the job to different sources. It might be company's internal career portal. So every company can have one website where all their vacancies will be visible. So generally, if you go to companies' websites, there will be a careers tab in any company's website where we'll try to look at their vacancies that they have. So that portal or external portals like any other third party recruiting portals like Naukri.com, Monster.com, kind of any other websites based posting, or even agency posting. We'll generally have one option of agencies, guys, so that we send the detail about the job requirement in our company to a recruiting agency, where they do the recruiting process for us. That is, they bring the profiles for us from the market. So our recruitment team cannot work for all the vacancies in the company. Then we market those profiles to the agencies. So the agency people will bring the profiles from the market for us and they share us. So that's called agency posting. We also activate that agency posting. So this way, a job requirement in a company can be posted to several places: internal career portals, external career portals, next agency postings like this, different websites, we can have the posting done. So once we have the job posting done, that's where the candidates start applying and we can start getting the profiles. That's where the third step is candidate submittal step, where the candidates are actually submitting the profiles. Then for the several profiles that we have got is where we do the selection management. Candidate selection management, that's where company to company the selection process can be customized as per their requirement, right from the different kinds of tests that you conduct. It might be aptitude tests, system tests, psychometric tests, different kinds, followed by different rounds and levels of interviews, and then the background check or even these medical condition checks, and then finally comes the offer stage. So selection management level, we have lots of customization with different kinds of selection process that you want to adapt. Again, for permanent positions, what kind of selection process you want. For contract positions, what selection process you want. All that can be customized. And then we have a dedicated part for the offer management for those people who have crossed all those selection stages. So for them, we can have an offer released. But even that offer is not something a recruiter can release whatever numbers he want. So we have a provision for first creating an offer and get it approved by the top management in the company, for which we can have some approval process. So once that offer has been approved with the details what was given in the offer letter in terms of the package or in terms of any additional facilities we are committing in terms of company vehicle, company transport, company accommodations, kind of things. So all that is what someone has to approve in the management. Then that approved content is what we can release to the candidate. So that's where the offer management is divided into two levels. One is the offer approval process in the organization, and then the offer execution to the candidate. Two levels it will be. And again, we can have different offer letter formats. So offer letter, like for India, one format, for US, one format, like that. Country specific, you can have different. Within the country, again, job specific, like For admin jobs, for contract jobs, you can, for admin jobs, IT jobs, you can have different. For permanent jobs, contract jobs, you can have different. So several offer templates can be brought up. There is no limit on the number of templates as well. That way, this is where the recruiting process is. So once the candidate has accepted the offer, he is going to be hired as employee in the Employee Central. And whenever he leaves the position, again the vacancy comes up, and the job requisition has to be created, and the entire process will repeat. So against a position, this process is something that keeps on happening multiple times whenever the position is becoming vacant. Okay, so the prerequisite will be generally to have a vacant position in the company, to do the recruiting process, and then we do all this. So this is how the process flow for the recruiting looks like. And as we have been discussing in the module of Employee Central, guys, so for this entire module of Employee Central, we have 4 important data models that we spoke about in terms of succession, country-specific succession, corporate and country-specific corporate, 4 data models. Similar way, for this recruiting module to function as well, there are 4 templates. I don't call them as a data model anymore. From the talent modules, we just call them as templates. So these are the 4 different templates that will be acting as 4 important pillars for this module again. So first thing is, as we discussed, we'll create a job requisition. That is a job requirement. Requisition is nothing but a requirement. So in which we'll maintain all the details about the job, like the title, the location, the department. So how many hours of working week is expected. So like this, lot of details about the job will be mentioned. So to what all fields we require on the job requisition screen to capture all the information about the job is what the job requisition template is about. The first one, job requisition template, is all about that. So when I'm creating a job requirement, what all details I'm going to capture in a company is what the fields that will be present of the job requisition template. Then the second one is candidate profile template. Candidate profile is where, so whenever anybody is trying to apply for a job in a company, so that's where they have to create some profile. So any company's recruiting portal, if you're trying to go to the careers tab in the company's website and if you're trying to apply, it's not just clicking the apply button. It will definitely ask you to create a profile for yourself and maintain some details, like attach your resume, mention your previous employer details, your education details. Like this, some basic information is required. That's what a profile is. So on the candidate profile, what all fields of information is going to be present is what the second template, candidate profile template, all about. That way. Then the third one is candidate data model template. So that is nothing but application related. The third one, candidate data model template, means the application related. So when you actually apply for a job, what all details specific to that job you have to answer. Okay, profile is a generalized information about yourself, whatever your education details, your previous experience details. That's about just your profile, which is about your background information. But there might be some questions specific to a job that you are applying. If you are applying for what do you say, for an IT related job, you are applying for a admin related job, specific to that job, there can be some questions. And if you are applying for a job of another country related to the visa status of that country and all, also there can be some questions. So that kind of some points what the candidate has to answer related to specific job is what it can be present in the application template. The third one, which is candidate data model, is basically the candidate's application related template. And then offer details templates, the fourth one. So offer details template is the one that will contain all the information, what we would like to pass it to the top management for getting the approval of the offer. Like what is the CTC we are offering the candidate, what is the grade we are offering the candidate. So any company accommodation, company transport, any relocation bonus, like this, each and every detail before we actually place that information in the offer letter. So what all information we have to take an approval from the management level is what the fields we'll have in the offer details template. That's not the offer letter template, it is offer details template. So what all details I'm going to finally keep in the candidate's offer letter. First, we have to keep the details in one screen and get it approved, saying that this is the name of the candidate, this is a designation, this is a grade, This is a CTC we are offering, and we are giving these relocation bonus, company transport, etc., etc. Everything we have to mention and get the approval. So only if that has been approved, then only we can formulate that information in the proper offer letter format, and we can release the offer letter to the candidate. So this way, these are the 4 different important templates on the grounds on which this employees on this which this recruitment module will be functioning, guys. Okay. Again, each and every template here is obviously containing their internal XML code, which is standard SuccessFactors pre-delivered. So we need not worry about it. Same as usual, like Employee Central, we'll have the standard pre-delivered XML templates. But the way how we use them is slightly different. It's not, we don't upload all of them at once. Stage by stage, we will get to know. So that way it is 4 important templates. We generally don't refer them as data models here in the talent modules. In the talent modules, we say it as templates. Okay, that is it. And now to look at the system, let me take it to the instance. So here in the instance, as I mentioned, recruiting is a tab where the entire recruiting process will be done basically by the recruitment team. So here we have requisitions. Under recruiting, we have something called as job requisitions, guys. So the job requisitions are nothing but the different job requirements that were created in this system. There are several actually. You keep on scrolling down, there are several. In which now example, randomly, if I say this maintenance engineer as a designation. So for this maintenance engineer, there are already 10 people who have applied till date, 10 candidates. Here on the right hand side, it's showing the count of the candidates as well. So now this is maintenance engineer is one job requisition that has been created in this system. So if I just click on it, I can go and have a look at how is the job requisition looking like. The first thing what we create is job requisition with filling all the details about the job and get the approval from the management internally. That is this. So this is where a job requisition is, which is having an ID. For every new job requirement in the company, you will have one unique ID that will be allocated automatically. Then the job title, current status as open, it's still recruiting process is still going on. Then this job belongs to which company, which department, location, business unit, which country we are posting the job, number of openings we have for the job. Like this, lots of information, guys. Lots and lots of information is what you can capture while you're creating a job requirement. So in which currency you're going to pay the candidate, what will be the salary, full-time or part-time employment, who is the recruiter that is going to deal with this opening. So when we create a job requirement itself, the recruiter who is going to deal with the requisition should also be mentioned. Okay. And then hiring manager, there is one more concept of hiring manager. So on top of the recruiters, you can have hiring managers actually, where hiring managers take care about different requisitions that are in progress in the company. That way. And then we have one very good option SF has given in the name of questions as a section, guys. Questions. So what are these questions is generally sometimes for few designations in the companies, we keep getting hundreds of profiles. There can be, say, example that if I create one position, some for example, I create SuccessFactors recruitment consultant as a job requirement. And if we post it, sometimes recruiters will be seeing hundreds of profiles coming in just for one opening. We just have one opening, but there are hundreds of profiles coming in. So that's where it becomes difficult even for them to filter out what to be the best available profiles from that bunch of hundreds of profiles that they've received. So that's where for every job, whatever are the minimum mandatory conditions that are there, like for this job, it's not just being a recruitment. You should be certified. You should have mandatory 5 years of experience. You should be willing to travel. So like this, if there are any mandatory conditions the candidate has to possess, that's what you can keep them as questions. Questions. So if you see here, are you willing to travel is the first question. That means this position expects traveling. If you say no, I can't travel, I want to stay only in Bangalore, like that, if you say that for that position, it might not be suitable. Okay. So like this, there can be some questions. Again, similarly at the bottom, there is something called open to relocation. That means even if a company asks him to keep working from another location, he or she should be able flexible to do that. So that kind of things is what you can keep as some questions, and you can also have a predefined answer for that. Are you willing to travel? As you see the multiple choice and below that, so there are two answers, yes or no, and the correct answer is yes. This is what you also keep the correct answer expected internally. Give the options and also you choose the correct answer. So if the answer given by the candidate is no on the screen, but the correct answer says yes. So based on the answer for this question, if you keep this checkbox disqualifier here, his profile will be immediately disqualified. If we mark a question as disqualifier question, so irrespective of the answers you give for the other questions, first question itself you have given a wrong answer, your profile is disqualified. That way, the mandatory conditions, whatever a candidate has to possess, is what you can keep them as disqualifier questions. So if the answer expected and the answer given by the candidate are wrong, immediately the profile will be disqualified so that the recruiter need not even look into that profile. So that way, if we set these disqualifier questions, the mandatory requirements for that position, so that is where the profiles can get down. So if there are 100 people who applied for the job, so those who meet all these requirements might get down to 50. So the effort that the recruiter has to spend on filtering the profiles or reviewing the profiles is reduced by 50%. So that way, this questions option is very good feature SF has given, guys. So you can give the question, the relevant answers, and the correct answer, everything, and keep it as a disqualified question, so that even if one single answer is gone, even if one single answer is given wrong, this player profile will be disqualified. We have one more option as well. Instead of keeping the question as disqualifier, so if you keep the question as a disqualifier, if that question answer is wrong, your profile is disqualified, even if the other questions are correct. But if you want to give overall scoring, so instead of keeping one question as a disqualifier, so now here I have 6 questions. So I can say I'll allocate some score for every question. We can come up with a score. So out of the 6, there are 5 questions which are having a multiple choice and one is a free text. So for those questions where is the score, I'm giving a weightage. So 20, 20, 20, some weightage is what I give. Okay. So, and I say at the bottom there is something called required score. This required score is where if we keep it as 60, that means out of the 5 questions which are having a score, minimum 3 questions has to be correct. That means he should possess at least 3 out of 5 qualifications among the list of questions that we are marked here. At least 3, any 3 he should be ready to accept. Only then we can process his profile. So if I keep required score as 60 and every question has a score with 20 each, so minimum 3 out of these 5 if he is processing, then only he'll meet the 60 score. That is the way. That is one more way. So this questions has an option to filter out the candidates based on disqualifier or on the score features. And then finally, we can have some options to attach some additional documentations about the job and any additional details. And then we can create the requisition at the bottom, click on the button. So this is how a job requisition looks like. So this is an existing one which has been already created for some maintenance engineer as a position. But this is how to give you an idea. The job requisition actually looks like. And that's the place where we fill the details about the job, each and every minute information possible, so that the management level, some people can have a look into it, approve it, and then only the recruiter can do the posting of the jobs. Okay. Any queries till this point, guys? Yes, Rita.
Yeah, so before this job requisition gets approved, what are the typical roles that play in an organization? What are the different roles that comes in picture before it gets approved? Like a recruiter, like you mentioned, hiring manager. What are the key stakeholders
Yes,
in general?
recruiters, basically recruiters, head of the departments, hiring managers. These are the three-level main people, and sometimes it can be also the top managements. And in the approval process of the requisition, you can include the head of HR, head of finance. So because you are giving the CTC details here, you are saying that the opposition is being offered with some 9 lakhs of package, 20 lakhs of package, whatever we maintain in the CTC. So for that fields to be approved also, we need some approval from the finance or HR. So like that, you can include the main team from the recruitment side with the recruiters, hiring managers, and for which position, for which department position you are doing this, that department's HOD, these three people can be expected. And apart from that, head of HR or head of finance or someone, it need not be head, someone from HR, someone from finance can also be involved in the review process. That way.
And so we discuss with the client and we come up with the workflow for the approvals, right? Especially for the
Exactly.
job requisition approval workflow.
Exactly.
Okay.
So definitely, because the approval process of company to company will definitely be different. It's not something that we suggest. They have to give us. That will be obviously discussed in the recruiting related workbook sessions about the approval process required. It might be in the requisition level or it might be in the offer approval level. So what are the approval flows is what we discussed, and accordingly set up those approvals in the company. Okay. So
And
that's when we are looking into the config of the requisition. The workflow approval process also is what we'll see.
and this template shows this business unit location, all that stuff, right? This from this source, the information goes to employee central, or the information is same or maintained separately. This location, business unit, division, department, whatever is showing here, while recruiting a candidate, the same information flows to employee central corporate data model. I mean that foundation of objects are maintained separately again.
Employee record, it goes into the employee record, not the master.
Okay.
It will be already set up, right? So the
Mhm.
master, what is set up between employees and recruitment is what you're already seeing on the screens. So what is going to flow is into the employee record level in the employee hiring process, the way you fill the details like the employee belongs to which department, which location, all that. So the information what is captured here is what that can be automatically used in the data population in the employee hiring process. Okay. Yeah. Next we have Kuldeep. Do you have a question?
No.
Next, Rajan.
There is a job requisition ID, right? So at the top of the section.
Right.
So it is how it is created. It is a business rule or something,
No,
or we
it
have to.
That's a framework functionality. Automatically, there will be a requisition ID that comes in the recruiting module. We need not do any config explicitly from a consultant side. Okay.
Okay.
And so this is how the requisition screen is looking like this, where you are able to create a requisition with all these kinds of fields. And of course, we will be able to customize this. So what all fields I'm just showing you here, this is obviously client specific. So if the client says, no, I don't want these fields, or if I want to add some additional fields, what I have to capture in the job requisition process, that's what we can definitely customize. So the standard template that SuccessFactors will be giving you will be containing almost 100 plus fields. 100 plus different fields is what SF standard template will be giving, but 100 plus is what SF has given based on the requirements that they see from different kinds of customers, different industries, niches of business. Based on that, they have given, but everybody doesn't require all the 100 for your style of hiring, for your processes in the company. So if there are some 20 fields that are applicable, some 30 fields that are applicable, whatever, you can choose that accordingly. We can configure. Okay, the standard template contains 100 fields, 100 plus fields, but the clients will choose what are the fields they wish to finally have in their own template. Other fields can be removed, so that all that customization of the template we'll see down the line in the sessions. And then once this has been, once the job has been, requisition has been approved, guys, we'll have the posting options. So here, once I go for the job requisitions page once again, so if I go for this store associate as a requisition, which has is already approved, and there are 16 candidates who have already applied also. So generally for the requisitions which have been created and even approved, you will have these many options over here, guys. the job requisitions which have been created and even approved will come up with these many options. But whereas if you look at any requisitions which are just created but not yet approved and all, so you will have few options in that. Let me just show you something relevant. Most of them in this system are approved actually. Okay, so everything is already approved here. Later on, while we are creating the requisition, we can see that. So generally, if it is not approved this, we'll have only 2 or 3 options in the list. We don't get these many. Only for approved requisitions, you are getting to get all these options. And that's where you have a posting. Against any job, you will have a job postings as a one of the feature. So that job postings is where you can click on it and you can redirect to a job postings page from where you can actually initiate the posting of the job to the different sources on them. So here store associate is something we have. For the store associate, I'm just going for the job postings option. When I click on this job postings and open a page, so that's where it will show you the possible job posting options. Particularly first you see internal career site posting, external career site posting. So what is this internal and external career site posting is? So the posting that we can actually see in our internal company's website. Internal company's HR portal is this careers. So internal career site is something where I can see my job in this career portal. That is the already employees of this company can see the job. Already the employees of this company can see the job is this internal career portal. So if I go for this career, so any jobs that are available for an employee of this company to also apply for will come and appear here. So in this system, it says there are 47 jobs that can be applied for. If I click on the search jobs, so this is a career portal, guys, career opportunities page where all the jobs of the company are shown that are open for the internal candidates to apply for. So here are the list. HR professional, sales analyst, like this, different designations are there. For everything, they'll have an option to apply for a job, all this. As an internal candidate of this company, I can apply for this job, or I can send an email about this job to my friend who is out of the company, or I can even refer him by uploading his resume. I can refer the candidate. Like this, against every job in the company, I, as an internal employee in the company, will get all these options. I can apply, or I can send the email about this job to someone outside, or even I can refer them into the company, like that. So this is the internal career portal. So that's where you have the internal posting option over here. Another one is external career site posting. External career site is, that's the site that in your company's website, you have the careers tab, right? Every organization will have a careers tab where once someone outside the company visits their company's website and look on the careers tab, they will see the vacancies of that company across the locations, and wherever they want to apply, they can. So that is the external career site. So when you are doing a posting against this site, it will be something that will be posted in your company's website. So we can have a link that will be available to place in the company's website. All that we'll discuss down the line. So that way, internal career posting, that's where only the people within the company can see. Whereas external career posting is something that comes in the website. That's where the people out of the company can also look for the jobs and apply. That is 2 different places. Okay. And then posting to any other portals and all, like if you want to do a posting to a LinkedIn, posting to the Naukri, any other job websites and all, is what we can do through this option called job board posting. The 2 different job boards is what we can actually do the posting for. So obviously in the demo systems, we can't connect to those third-party portals and all, but generally this is a place from where we can initiate that job board postings. And coming back here on the top, there is mentioned internal private, external private as well. Internal and external is done, but internal private and external is one more. What is this private option is? Say example, the recruiter in a company is looking for the profiles in the LinkedIn, okay, and the situation is they don't want to keep that position visible in the market. So people should not see that there is a vacancy in this company. So it's not that we have to market it, we have to post it, people start applying. We don't want that way. We want to do a targeted marketing. That is, we have an opening, but that is not posted to any job portals. Nobody sees that in any job portals. But we will be specifically looking for some people with particular certifications, particular level of experience, people of specifically any particular competitive companies. So Accenture, if Accenture is looking for a candidate from Deloitte, specifically people from Deloitte, or people with specific uh, industries experience, people who worked in the specific industry, like that, anything you have any specific requirements, you look into the recruiting portals or even LinkedIn somewhere, and you message them saying that by looking at your profile, we wish to inform you about a very good opportunity in our company, so on, so etc. They can reach out to the candidate. If the candidate is okay to proceed with that opening, then a link will be shared to him to apply for the job, and he can click on that link and he can start filling his profile and submit the application. That way, only when a recruiter or someone is sharing them the link, they can apply for the job. But they don't, if they directly want to go and search in the portal, they don't find that job. So that's called the private option, in which, so external private is something where a link will be generated here and I can give it to people out of the company. Similar way, internal private posting is also there, but that's not generally too much used in the real time. Internal private is where the internally within the company, we can reach out to someone saying that we have some good opportunity in this department or in this level. So if you are okay, we can process your profile like that. Speaking with someone within the internally within the company is where the internal private option, where internal company employees don't see that vacancy anywhere, but someone reaches to you. It might be a recruiter or a head of the department or someone else is reaching out to you saying that based on your previous experience, your profile, your performance, we are ready to offer you for some other position. But if you are up, if you want, we can start initiating your selection process, is what they can mention. So that is a way. But these kinds of internal private discussions generally doesn't happen. It will be happening with external cases. So internal is where you don't have a recruitment process and all. Directly, if they really trust you, they will offer you that position. It's not selection process and all is not generally not expected internally when they are transferring you. So that's where this internal private is something very rarely expected, but SF has given it. But external private is a common thing that we see in most of the companies that happens. So they don't post the job to the markets, but the details will be given to the recruitment team, and recruitment team has to silently do the recruiting process by sending out the communications to the potential candidates only of once they are convinced with their profiles. So this way we have internal and external posting, in which we have again internal private version and external private version as well. And the job, the posting to the different job boards is what I mentioned. And one more we have is agencies. So that, as I told earlier, we have an option of posting the jobs to different agencies, guys, where agency posting is all about the way you can have a tie-up with some recruiting manpower agencies in the market. So there are different recruiting agencies, the manpower sourcing companies in the market, guys. So a company can have a tie-up with such kind of agencies. So that, for example, you take some big companies, guys. You take, say, Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola is a huge company with their presence in different countries. They have different kinds of jobs, not only their manufacturing business related, to take care of various other things within the company. Say, if you take Coca-Cola's IT department, it's a huge. Coca-Cola's IT department itself is huge. They have different technologies, different products that they use within their organization. So now, internally, if they have to hire for some internal recruiting team, internal internal IT team, if they have to do some recruiting. So they have positions in India, US, Canada, and various countries. So for this, a company's internal recruitment team will not be enough to deal with all these openings for different technologies, different kinds of jobs across the countries. Their internal recruitment team cannot suffice that. So that's where they keep depending on the third-party agencies, where the job posting what has been created will be shared with them, the agencies, and agencies will bring the profiles from the market. So if there is a opening for Coca-Cola in Russia, there is an opening. So for those people who speak the Russian language, and also people have this specific skill set with this specific experience, all that levels is what they have to look at, and the recruiting agencies have to bring us the profiles, saying that these are the potential profiles, what we find good for this opening is what they have to share. Again, then the internal company's recruitment team can still reprocess those profiles and do the selection process. That's internal, different again. But sourcing the profiles in the market is where the agencies will be helping us. Even if you take general scenario of IT companies, if you take Accenture has lots of openings. They have a lot of technologies that they deal with. So they need professionals on SAP, they need professionals on Oracle, they need on OpenText, on various technologies, they need people. Where an internal recruitment team of Accenture cannot suffice all this. That's where the openings of Accenture can be posted to the third-party agencies, where agencies will start supporting on the recruiting process. That's why sometimes when we are applying for some jobs, for example, if there is an opening with Accenture, there will be different agencies that will call us, saying that, hi, Mr. Suresh, so we saw your profile and we find one very good opportunity that will match your profile in this so-and-so organization. If you're okay, we'll process your profile, is what they say. Same statement you hear from different agencies. There will be people from different recruiting agencies, they call you and they say that they want to process your profile to that company. That's where Accenture has given that recruiting to different recruiting agencies. Accenture has given that job requirement, and everybody is trying to bring the profiles from the market. So that is how it is. So this way, posting a job happens to different options: internal site, external site, different third-party job boards or agencies, all these things. So how does the posting work? So what are the prerequisites for the posting? How do we do the posting? Once it is posted in the target location, how does it look like? So all that is a dedicated discussion that goes on. We'll be looking at on the posting part. And then if a candidate has to apply for a job, guys, so that's where they can go for this apply option and they will start applying for the jobs and all. So when we click on apply, it will first redirect us to the profile page. Candidate profile is something that comes up here. So this is the one. Okay, so there are some permissions and changes to be done. So this page is something that can come up with a lot of information over here in the profile level, with the resume to be uploaded, the candidate certifications, candidate education details, previous experience details, like this. Everything can be captured actually on this profile. So currently all that are missing currently. So we have to look into that. So this is the profile page that comes up generally whenever someone is trying to apply for a job. Let me go back and look at any other job. It would be the same screen. Yeah, same. So there are some permissions to be aligned here. So actually the different contents, what we can capture is what it comes here on the screen, right from the resume, the cover letter of the candidate, any options to add some additional attachments like certifications. And as I told, the education, previous experience, all that is what we can finish. Once we complete all the information on the screen is where we'll have a next option on the bottom. On the right hand bottom, there is a next button. Clicking on next is where it will take us to the actual application of the job. So first thing, whenever I click on apply, is what the profile comes. Once I fill the basic information on the profile, then when I click on next, it takes me to the actual application of the job, apply. The job application is where I can have few more additional questions that they can ask me. So here, are you the citizen of the country for the job for which you are applying? So I'm applying for a country's job. I'm a citizen for that or not, I have to say. If I say I'm not, no. If not, no is what I say. And we can also have a few more fields, like if no, then what is the visa category that you are in? What is the visa number, visa grant number, like this. I can also add few more details. So whenever there are any job posting related to US or few other countries where employment visa is important, So there will be some additional fields that can come up on the screen. That way we can configure it. That's the application related. So this way, as per our templates that I was talking about earlier, so job requisition, we have a template. The profile, the second screen, when we click on apply, what is the screen that comes? There is a profile template. Once I fill the profile and click on next, that is the application template. Candidate data model template is nothing but the application template. Here in the apply screen level, what all fields you get, they are from the candidate data model template, this one application template. That way, stage by stage, the different screens that we are passing on will have the respective templates with all the certain fields that are required for those templates. Finally, once all this information has been filled in and we click on apply, is where the application is being submitted. Resume. Okay, there's some attachment mandatory, it says. So once we upload some resume and we click on apply, it comes with a message. Your application has been sent successfully, is what it gives you confirmation that way. And those applications and all what are being submitted will reach the recruiters. And now, so example for this position, if you see store associate as a position, there are 16 candidates who have applied. 16 is the count that's showing up here. So if a recruiter wants to look at what are those profiles, you can just click on that 16 and it will redirect us to a candidate pipeline or a talent pipeline as a screen. This one, you see this talent pipeline. So pipeline is nothing but it's a selections, all the selection stages. So new applications here, you see there is a total of 9 new applications where the recruiter still hasn't processed the profiles. There are 9 new applications completely. And there are 2 applications which are in the pre-screening already. One is already shortlisted. For 2 of them, shortlisting is done and interview, they are in interview stage. 2 of them are in the already offer stage, like this. So this is your selection process in the company. Whenever there is a new application coming in, we do some pre-screening, then we shortlist them, then for them we conduct the interviews. Interviews, there can be having multiple levels, interview 1, interview 2, like this, different levels. Then we who have cleared all these interviews also, they will be going with the offer. In offer, you can have multiple statuses under this if required, like offer creation, offer approval, offer acceptance. I can bring up with multiple. So like this, the selection process is what we can configure and customize according to our requirement for sure. That also we'll be looking at down the line. So in each stage, how many people are there? It is showing, and this is where the selection process is going to continue. Okay, so we conduct interviews, we do the initial screening, shortlistings. For that, if you want to conduct any tests, you can have one more additional test here. So under pre-screening, they said phone screening first. They call the candidate and do the high-level screening. Then they verify the documents. Like this, different stages. But there here itself, if you want to include one more stage for aptitude test, written test, system test, like this, different types of statuses can also be added. So this is what a pipeline we say with different statuses of selection process. So talent pipeline or candidate pipeline, you can say, guys. Talent pipeline or candidate pipeline. So this is something we can actually configure as well. So the candidate pipeline or a talent pipeline is a bunch of statuses, selection stages. So a new application, shortlisting, interviews, all that are different statuses. So a bunch of different statuses is what we say a pipeline. Okay, so how does that pipeline be configured, that statuses be configured? We'll be looking at where that statuses are also different. So first job applied status, pre-screening, shortlisting, assessments, interviews, all these are the different kinds of statuses that can be expected, but not limited to. Client to client, their internal selection process based, we can create multiple statuses. There is no limit on it. A company might have a very generalized process. So once the candidate is applied, we do shortlisting, we conduct interview, we go for offer. That's it. It might be simple 3 to 4. But some companies can have too much of screening. So initial pre-screening they do, then those people they do shortlisting. For shortlisted people, they do conduct technical assessments. Who go through the assessments, who pass these assessments, for them only they will schedule the interviews. And before we go for offer, they might have a background check mandatory in the company, high level check. First of all, that happens within a week or so. Then only the offer will be released. So that way we can have different kinds of selection processes, company to company, that we can accommodate. Okay. So this way we can have the selection processes of the companies that can be set up as the different steps, guys. So where we can have different kinds of integrations if required. For example, for written tests, there should be integration with any other assessment applications. For background checks, if there should be any integrations with any background check vendors to provide the details of the candidate like this, there can be integrations. Again, that's something third-party tools. Like clients should have the licenses for that. Accordingly, they can do that integration if required. Yeah, Rajan?
So these are the, I mean, what are these steps are kind of objects or these are fields we have to create?
These are statuses, not fields or objects. These are called statuses. So each and every status has a separate screen. We'll go there and we have to fill the details. Okay, they all come as a drop downs. Finally, we have to create all those statuses one by one.
Okay.
Next, Sridhar.
Yeah, let's suppose client is only asking RCM module implementation only, and there's no other modules implementation. If we need to deal with the workflow approvals for the job requisition, how we can implement that without employee central?
No, it has nothing to do with Employee Central actually. So the approvals in talent modules are totally having a different configuration. So it has nothing to do with the Employee Central workflows. So Employee Central level workflows, what we configure is only exclusive for that module. For recruitment, PMGM, all these talent modules, the workflow mechanism itself is different. Here we call them as route maps. Route maps is what we call. It's a complete different framework of approval process. It goes in recruitment. They are not dependent on AC.
Okay. So everything through route maps, right? Here.
Route maps, yeah.
Okay. That's right.
That is the way. So this is where the selection stages is what we'll be discussing. So even when we're going to start our configurations from tomorrow, guys, so this is the first thing. So selection management is very important. In any company, even when you go for recruiting management related requirement gathering sessions or anything, first thing we come to the agenda of discussion will be, what is your company's selection process? Okay. So what are the different levels of selections you do, different types of screenings you do, assessments you do, all that. First, we should get an idea. Then only once we speak about that selection process with the HR or the whoever the recruiting process owners in the company, that's where based on this discussion, right from the posting the job till the offer release, what are the different stages that they see in their company, they expect in their company. Once if you have a discussion around that, that will lead to different other requirements discussions down the line gradually, automatically. Okay, so that's where selection management related is the very first discussion that comes up in any requirement gathering sessions. Job requisitions, application templates, offer templates, that is all different, that will later on come. The core process, the backbone of any company selection recruiting module is the selection management process. What are your key stages of selection? That's what we discuss. Again, as I mentioned earlier, for country specific, for India related hiring, there can be a different process. For US, a different process. For IT jobs, for admin jobs, there can be different process of hiring. Because, for example, in admin jobs, if I'm going to hire some infrastructure maintenance supervisor, or it is some HR in the company, for these kinds of admin jobs, you don't have any technical assessments for them. Whereas for when it comes to IT jobs, you will have written tests, technical assessments, system tests, additional steps that will be added. And again, permanent jobs and contract jobs can also differ with the selection process. So for even it is an IT job, for contract jobs, I might not go for multiple levels of screenings. Just one system test, one interview is enough. I don't conduct multiple rounds of interviews and all for contract. So that way, for different kinds of natures of the jobs, you can have different kinds of selection stages that comes in the context that we can accommodate accordingly. Okay. 1 second. So this is about the selection stages, which we'll be starting our discussion, guys, where the selection stages, configuring the selection stages and combining them all together. So individual statuses is what we have to first configure, and then we combine all of them together. So this is how a pipeline gets created, the one that we saw in this screen also. with all the statuses that we have created and we combine them is one selection pipeline, a candidate pipeline. So how does that pipeline gets configured and all? For that, we have the steps that has to be carried out in provisioning, some steps in the instance or provisioning anywhere. Like this, we have different steps to be taken care one by one. So all that is what we will continue with our discussion. So in this recruiting process flows, we came across the requisition screen, profile screen, and the applications related screen. There will be one more as offer details. So this is something too early to discuss. That comes almost after 3 weeks of discussion from now. Offer details screen, as I told, that's the place where the main details, what I am going to release to the candidate, like the designation, the grade, the CTC, additional facilities from the company that we are going to give him, any company shares we are going to give him, like this, everything should be mentioned and that has to be taken care of the approval. This offer details level, it's just the fields of information you have, guys. But actual offer letter, what we give it to the candidate will be generally a PDF file with 10 pages, 20 pages offer letter, which will have a lot of policies related, company related leave policy, provision policy, termination policy, okay, company's health benefits, like this annexure, a lot of things will be mentioned in every employee's offer letter, right? So which is a static text that will be mostly common for all the employees. So that offer letter is a different thing that we design. For that, there is no XML related, there is no XML templates. That's a on-screen configurations, the offer letter formats. So some companies will have 3 pages offer letter, some companies will have 20 pages offer letter also. So all that we can configure, no limit on the text. So all the static text will be there, along with the dynamic content, like what is the designation approved, what is the grade approved, what is the CTC approved, all that can also be combined into the main offer letter and we release the offer letter to the candidate. So based on this offer details that we capture here, next an offer letter will be also created. So offer is of 2 levels, offer details template and offer letter template, 2 things. So offer details is an XML template, but offer letter is what the general front-end screen we can configure, which turns into a Word file or a PDF file that will be sent to the candidate. Okay, so this is how the recruiting process goes with 4 levels of the applications on the screens. The recruiting process goes. So for that, the first level of discussion should be around the selection management process. And that's what the pipeline related discussion, the statuses and the candidate pipeline related discussion is what we'll get initiated with our session from tomorrow. Okay. Any queries over here? Fine, guys. So let's start connecting from tomorrow again the same time and we'll start with the config sessions. Thank you, one and all.
Hi, Suresh.
Thank you, Suresh. Bye.
Hi, Suresh.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Yeah, Christiana.
Thanks. Okay, so I have a question. It's not about recruiting. It's about PMGM. Is it okay to ask? Okay. So what I wanted to ask is in the route map for for performance management, if you have like the performance the route map, the employees manager is not responding, that needs to approve or needs to review the thing and then it moves to the next stage.
Okay.
But if there's a delay, is there a way you can escalate to the upper level manager? Like the manager's manager.
That's what we don't have any escalating feature in the talent modules. The only option is the automatic route on a specific number of days. So you set a due date. So in the route map against the due date feature, you have automatic push after the due date. So once you kept say the due date as 25th of August, by 25th of August, if he is not responding, the form can be automatically pushed to the next step. So whoever is the next step for workflow, it will be going to them. That's it. But there is no escalation kind of a concept. It goes forward to the next level person in the workflow what has been already configured.
Okay, but we can do like a notification, and then the manager's manager also gets notified that is pending with the manager. Is that possible?
That's what you're asking is like in employee central related possibilities, but not in talent modules. Talent
Okay.
module, whatever is a configured flow, the notifications will go only for those people. You can't bring in any additional people, no escalation kind of a concept over there.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, Suresh.
Thank you guys.